I don't know if you can see these two guys behind me. I walked by and they're just both talking about, oh, I remember Bruiser Brody doing this, and I saw just naming all these old school guys, all these old school memories they have. Man, you know, it hits me right here when I see stuff like that, hear stuff like that. You know, fans that remember wrestling and, you know, come out to see us because they remember this old, the iconic stuff that inspired us. It's kind of like I don't know if that's a cycle, a full circle thing. I don't know. It's a good feeling that you only get it every once in a while. Anytime you want to claim me as your husband to avoid dealing with a creep, you feel free.
That guy that you wrestled, the old guy?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's the one, and he told me that he was 37.
That's what I did.
There's no way that dude's 37. Get out of here. That dude, I'm 40, and that dude was older, had to be older than me.
But are you guys ready to see some matches?
Let's get her on! Let's go!
You're just jealous that you can't.
Welcome back to the Zero Hype Vlog. We are at ACW today in lovely St. Clair, Missouri. Actually, it ain't lovely today. It's very very rainy, very drizzly out. But today I'm having a ball today. You know, I talked when I was in Missouri last time about having some nostalgia feelings. Well, turn that to 10 today, because today at St. Clair, this is the location of my very first Missouri shows. And check it out, we're outside today, but we used to be in this building. And I don't know if you can see, very low ceilings in here, but very much having some flashbacks today to my first time out, my first show, my first away game. And here we are again, 20 something years later. No, not 20 something years later, less than 18. I think I was 2 years in. I think I was about 2 years in, so about 18, 19 years later. Ain't changed that much. So I don't know that I've ever told the story of my first time out away from Springfield on the vlog, and this seems like the perfect time to do that since I'm back here for the first time. God, it's probably been more than 15 years since I was at this location for a show. But my first time out, I think I was 20. My first time traveling by myself, like traveling more than you know, 20 minutes away from home by myself. I had sent my little video away, and the promoter had contacted me and told me that he'd, you know, like to have me on the show, and so I came down. This is my first taste of like real wrestling and getting out and being on the road and making a show, and then to show up and like, here's these guys building this ring, and it's people I don't know, and I'm gonna wrestle this guy and I've never met him before, and you know, the promoter talks to me, and it turns out I'm gonna wrestle two guys, and you know, this triple threat, and they want me. It's going to be a hardcore triple threat, so there's going to be some weapons and stuff involved. And man, I had never done anything like this before. I mean, I'd had plenty of matches to this point. Yeah, I was wrestling the Stud, and I was wrestling this guy, Elegantes Loco. And Elegantes Loco comes up to us and he talks about, he says, oh, his back's hurt and he doesn't really know that he should be wrestling, and so he needs to not do very much, and you know, they asked him to wrestle, so he doesn't want to not be on the, you know, he doesn't want to say no, but he doesn't know if he should, all this stuff. And so me and the Stud are basically like, okay, well, what if at the beginning of the match you don't want to fight the two of us, so you roll out of the ring, hide under the ring. And he said, oh yeah, that sounds good, you know. And we were like, and then at the end of the match, you can pop out and not realize that it's over, whatever the case. He's like, okay, yeah, that's good. So me and the stud kind of talk out our match and plan to do it without him involved. And we get out there to start the match, and we're kind of waiting for this guy to roll out of the ring, and he's not, so we're kind of like, okay, well, let's start fighting. And so me and him start, and this guy runs over and hits us both. And I just remember him going, you only live once, boys, let's do it. And I remember being so mad right away. Just that this guy, you know, I understood right away that this guy was just kind of a game player, and he was just kind of, he wanted both the attention of like, oh, I'm too hurt to do this, and the attention of like, oh, I did this match even though I was hurt. And you know, I understood that right away, so I just, and luckily that snapped all the nerves out of me right away, and any nerves, excitement that I had been dealing with just kind of faded out, and I just went to work doing what I know how to do. And I took it to both guys, and you know, there was no backup in me that night. And you know, had it not happened that way, I honestly don't know, because I was kind of nervous, and I'd never wrestled any of these guys, and I was used to wrestling guys that I had not just wrestled, but I trained with, and that I saw on a weekly, almost daily basis at the time. So there was a comfort level with the person. And so had I not had this little bit of anger, this little bit of aggression that flared in me because of this douchebag Elgantes Loco, I don't know what that first night might have been like. As it was, like, that stuff vanished. I became the wrestler that I am, or that I was at the time, and I just took it to him. I did what I knew how to do. There was no backup in me, there was no nerves, and we delivered. I don't know that the match was very good, and I can't say enough good things about the stud. He was great, he was professional, he worked with us both. There was no complaint, no backup in him either. And after, you know, after the match, I remember coming in back, and the promoter came up to me and he said, man, I wasn't sure what to think about you, but you were, every time I looked out there, you were taking it to those two guys. I definitely would want to have you back. And that spoke to me then. You know, I understood that it wasn't that I had a great match. It wasn't that I, you know, was such a good wrestler. What it was, you know, what had impressed him, what had, you know, gotten me invited back, was that I went out there with the confidence. I did what I needed to do, and I did it with confidence and aggression. You know, I looked like I belonged. Like, you know, he could tell that I looked like I belonged, whether I did or not. And I think that was the one wrestling lesson that I took away from that experience, from my first match away, more so than getting out and getting ring experience. You know, I realized that so much of our success, so much of this business, and so much of everything is just coming at it full bore, no backup, all confidence. You know, just do what you know how to do, and don't let the nerves or the situation, don't let anything kind of get in your head and take away from your art, from doing what you do. Been alright. I hate six-mans. Like,
too many moving parts.
Man, too many moving parts. Unnecessary sometimes. It's like the triple threat of tag teams.
Yes.
Like if you got too many dudes, like, we'll just throw these dudes together and let them, whatever. I don't know. Just because we have too many people on the card. It was fine. The guys I worked with were all good. So
yeah, you're cool.
I was super frustrated because it was supposed to be. So I came in for the hot tag. It was supposed to be hit the falsy, you know, 1, 2, and he was supposed to kick out. So it's supposed to be 1, 2, he kicks out, and then I take him over to tag the other guy in. When I tag the other guy in, they all come in, right? And what happened was I hit that falsy, boom, both other guys jumped on me. and then they left, and they just fucked off. I was like, and at first I was like, okay, this will work. I'll just reach back at that tag, and then we'll all start fighting. And like I turned around, hit that tag, and when I turned back around, they were gone. I was like, what the hell? So I hooked the guy and took him over. Like, okay, any minute now. And like even dude came in the ring and was like we were buying time, and like they just stood on the apron, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. We made it work. That's all that matters. But
Yep.
you know, I think that's part of the reason why I don't like planning out stuff. It's because I get way too frustrated when it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? If we don't plan anything and I can just go out and just work,
Yes.
cool, whatever.
We'll feel it out.
Right. We'll figure it out. I can't get mad if you blow it, you know, whatever. If we talk about a spot and you deviate. Yeah, and it's especially if it's your spot. And then you do some other shit. I'm like, what are we even doing here, guys?
What the fuck, man? What was that whole point of doing that, huh?